Hey everyone, today I am going to be making a dip dye rope basket for my bathroom in order to hold some hand towels that are yet to be created. This is Sarah, the Random Bee at Home. On this channel, I make creative projects for a unique life. If you're new, consider subscribing and hit the bell to be notified when I release my next video. Let's get started. The supplies. So they're pretty basic. You need some rope and some thread. However, since we are dip dyeing these, it has to be 100% cotton because we're using fiber reactive dyes, and if there's polyester, it won't dye, it'll just stay white. I did make another basket already, and this is for my keys, and I use polyester black thread, and I'm going to dip dye this one pink. And so I wanted it to have that effect. However, for the bathroom project, I want the thread to also dye with the rope. Hanky approves. Let's go to the bathroom and see the space. Okay, we're almost done with it, but it's a very small bathroom and everything in here is bold, except this area here. So we made this, but it seems sort of plain, and I'm going to put the basket right here. And it's obviously a small spot, and I want to put my hand towels in it, my extra ones. And so I think this space is about a 6x9 for the basket to fit and have a little bit of lippage. And also, if you can see, I have a pretty bold wallpaper here. And so I want to make sure the color of the basket matches the wallpaper because I don't want it to be too crazy, but I want the bathroom to be really unique. And when you come in here, I want it to be a special spot to go to the bathroom. Anyways, let's get started. Okay, so the basket I'm going to be showing you today is my oval basket. And this is a different basket I made for our keys. So it will be replacing this plastic food container that we're currently using. You can see the bottom pretty clearly since I used the black thread that I had discussed earlier. So this is just a polyester thread, and then I'll dye the bottom pink. And this turned out okay. I started with a 5" or 5 for my width of the stitches. And then when I started to come up the corner or the side, I decided to push it down to a 4, make it a little smaller and tighter. However, it meant when I went off the rails a little bit, I created a little hole. I think that's okay because this is just for keys. Okay, let's first clip this edge. So it's a little cleaner. And because I need my basket to be a 6x9 at the end of it, my little oval nub that I'm starting with needs to be 3 inches. Because if it's 6 inches wide and 9 inches long, that's a 3-inch difference. And then this will keep it, because I'll be wrapping it I'll be wrapping it obviously the same around and around and around. I'll be adding equally to each side, and that means the end shape will be 6x9. So hand crank, lift your presser foot, and then rotate. Put your presser foot back down, Okay, so I did make a slight measurement error in the beginning. My like beginning little nub is more like 2.5 inches. And so my finished measurements are 7x9 instead of 6x9, which is okay because I have extra space underneath. And the math did work out. So the math wasn't the problem, but my technique in measuring was the problem. So now I'm ready to shape the sides. And basically you just like tip this part up to start shaping it however aggressive you want the curve to be. The basket I made yesterday, I wanted it to be more aggressive than this. However, there is a size limit because, you know, this is sitting under here and the machine gets in the way of, you know, having this at like a 90-degree angle. So it is a little tapered, but I think that's okay. And that was something I hadn't really anticipated when I was making that basket. This oval one I don't think should be an issue. So let's do this. I think it helps if you pull the rope. I have a visitor here. Hank is back. She was here earlier. I think she wants a snack. Okay, so this is it for the sewing section. So actually I think you can see that the bowl sort of curves around, like it comes out and then it comes back in. And that's because when I was sewing it, I decided that it was not going to hold its shape like at all. It still really isn't. And so I really held the bowl up when I was sewing to get this to come back in. The bottom is a little wonky, and I think that's because I was pulling the rope as it was going in. When I was sewing it, I was pulling it pretty taut. And so I think around the corners, it created this tension issue. But overall, I'm pretty happy. And the next step is just to dye it. And so I am going to get everything set up for that. Okay, so I have set up my dye table and I have also pre-soaked my baskets in warm soapy water. I did a test like last week or something with some of the rope. Here are my test samples where I did not pre-soak it in warm soapy water. And these are what they look like when I did. And I also tested how long I soaked it in the soda ash, which is what changes the pH of water and makes fiber reactive dyes bond to cellulose fibers. And there wasn't really a difference in how long the basket sat in the soda ash. I was concerned if I sat it in there for a really long time, the soda ash would creep up the sides and then the dye would creep up the sides too far and turn the whole basket whatever color I dye it. So the first thing I need to do is put this in the soda ash water, which I already have mixed up in this bucket. These baskets are like waterproof. Like you could float something in these baskets. Like even though they're wet, it's just sitting on top of the soda ash and it's pretty cool. I was not expecting that. So I don't want to soak up too far on the sides. So it's been about 15 minutes of letting the basket soak in the soda ash bath. And I need to go dump that out, and because I'm going to use that same container to soak my oval basket in. Actually, first, I was going to hopefully put the smaller basket. This will be a pink color when it's done. I was hoping this would fit in here. So I think for this project, the hardest thing is finding a container to fit these baskets in. Woo, woo, getting crazy. Well, this might be more of a tie-dye basket. Okay, I'm just gonna keep it like that. And so I'll keep it in the dye for 30 minutes and everything should be bonded by then. Okay. Okay. I am obsessed with the shape of this oval basket. The bottom seemed to have like, it blew out a little on the bottom when I got it wet, which is interesting. It was already a little like wavy, but getting it wet seemed to exacerbate the issue. But I love the shape. It reminds me of, whoa! I don't want this to splash everywhere. It already is. I have a ton of dyeing supplies because I dye cotton yarn pretty frequently. Much better. Okay, that's more or less what I was hoping for. Did get one splash on the side, so we'll see if that ends up sticking. Oh, I'm so excited. Okay, this is gonna be way funkier than I was expecting, and I think that's okay. So I'm gonna let both of these sit for 30 minutes, and then I'm gonna take it out of the dye, and I think I'll probably let it sit for a little longer. Then I'll rinse it out with water and soap, hot water and soap, let it dry, and then I will show you the finished products. So it's been a couple days and the baskets are mostly dry now. And you can see the color. The green lightened up a lot from when I was filming, and same with the pink. It looked more orange. Overall, I'm very happy with these baskets. One negative about doing the dip dyeing is how long it took to dry. And so I think if you're only going to do one color like these, it would be better to dye the rope separately. And that way you can put it through the wash machine and then the dryer before sewing it. But overall, I'm super happy with the gradation from the dark to the middle, and then there's a little bit of white on the top. In the video, if you remember, I made a little oopsie here and I thought maybe it would wash out, and it didn't. So definitely have to be really careful. But I'm super happy. I think this is a perfect size. I have like a prop towel. This is a little bigger than the ones I'll make. And so hopefully I can fit also like a roll of toilet paper in there as well. So if you like this video, you can hit the subscribe button and the bell to be notified when my next video is released. If there's a video you'd like to see, please put that in the comments below. See you next time.